Audio Jungle.
It is Wednesday, February 22nd, hump day. It seems like we were just here. Like we were just talking about hump day. Where did our weekend go? Where did our week go? Oh my gosh, I'm going nuts here. Absolutely crazy. I figured we needed a little pick me up. Stop blaming yourself and stop blaming others. Life is life, right? I've got a hair appointment.
5 hours later.
I'm done. I'm back from the beauty salon. I like the hair. The hair is nice and blonde. Nice and blonde throughout. Should make my haters cry. And I got a little trim, so loving it. You can see my air conditioning blowing. My hair is just blowing away. That's people don't realize I'm getting up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and so I kind of take some time for myself, get right with God.
Say what?
Get right with God. And then I start looking and researching and reviewing my emails. In a very high profile, high publicity case such as this one, it's going to be very difficult to find anyone anywhere in Ohio that hasn't heard something about this case. And that is not our problem. That is their problem. I want to make that very clear. I don't mince my words when I'm on here. Find anyone anywhere in Ohio that hasn't heard something. I'm a very fair person when it comes to this stuff, but let me not mince my words. I'm sorry. We have always had to work around freedom of the press since the formation of our government. And as far as the students on the campus, I don't care about their feelings. Sorry. This is part of life. Not everything is fair. You guys had a major murder happen in your community that has garnered worldwide attention. Too bad that the media is there. You know, cry me a river, build me a bridge. Not my problem. Not my problem. My problem is unconstitutional gag orders and telling us we can't even see the probable cause affidavit because the courts lied and said it would create a public threat, a public safety issue. So it brings me back to whether this judge even should be overseeing this case to begin with, because I feel like it's outside of her wheelhouse.
You're outside of your wheelhouse. None of what's happening now is any of your business with that case.
At the end of the day, the reason why we do not like mainstream media is because they are controlled. Their narrative is controlled. That's not freedom of press. That is being controlled mouthpiece for law enforcement and these attorneys. I am not a mouthpiece for law enforcement or the attorneys. I come out and tell you guys what we find, whether law enforcement likes it or not. So it really burns my grits when I hear lawyers and judges saying, oh, well, let's figure out how we can dupe the people. How can we skirt the law today so we don't have to spend extra money? Your money problems are not my problem.
Wait a minute.
So you have 3 minutes to speak on the execution of cooperative funding agreement for toilet projects.
Andrew Griffin, Manatee County. I don't really want to step my foot into the but I would like to see the say roof on it. I don't know if you guys know I'm missing a roof, but I'd love for the county to help pay for it.
Do we want a fair trial? Of course we want a fair trial. It's very difficult this day and age to be convicted and have the evidence mounted against you without the evidence being mounted against you.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, let's be real. And shame on the judge that chose to use these unethical rulings in her courtroom.
If you know so much, why are you sitting in a bedroom of your house calling it an office? You have no standing to be telling your viewers anything about the decisions of actual officials. You're giving information as fact when you should be giving it as your opinion. You better be careful with that.
Shame on her. I'm sorry it's going to cost them a little more money moving the venue. Again, not my problem. But you know what? Because I'm a female, I'm supposed to be nicer because we have too many sexists out there that think that I'm not allowed to have my mouth and I'm not allowed to talk like a man. And I'm supposed to be home making cookies and stuff like that. Being sweet and nurturing and stuff like that. If that's what you expect from this female, you got the wrong channel. I absolutely love you bringing us the real truth, like baby Clinton and his unfit family. Absolutely. And you know what? The news media out there, the reason why the prosecutors are fighting so hard to keep social media out is because of me. I am still media. It doesn't matter how they feel about it. We cover true crime cases. We cover the truth on this channel. And no matter how you look at it, I have a right to say it. And I'm not going to be forced to paint a narrative that the prosecutor's office, or the chief of police wants me to drive. They don't pay me, and they definitely, and I'm not a sellout. So even if they brought me a big old fat check, I'd rip it up right in front of their face and tell them to take a hike.
No more lies.
I'd tell them to take a hike so I can get my little pennies here on YouTube.
We do get complaints periodically about panhandling. We would recommend that you don't give the money. It can be a safety issue when panhandlers step out into the roadway, busy roadways many times, to retrieve money.
By telling the truth. Right?
That awkward silence is the inner conscience knowing you're lying.
Yeah, those gag orders, they have to be so limited. And she made it so grossly enlarged that it covers you can't do that. You can't have it overly burdensome. And this is the prong test she has to use. Is there other less restrictive means? And the answer is yes.
Actually, the questions that need answers are, what federal judge did you work for? It's a big secret. What experience do you have in the legal field? That's a conspiracy also. You're an armchair detective for Donos. Nothing more.
There are ways to handle this that doesn't block the public out. And when I have, like in Chatham County, Georgia, and in Moscow, Idaho, when I hear both both prosecuting and defense wants these gag orders, I know there's something wrong there. I'm sorry. If it's going to make you spend money, again, not my problem.
But if you do consider it, consider roofs next. Just saying.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sure there's a long list of household needs that people have.
It's not media's problem, the financial benefits to a county. That's not my problem. It may sound heartless. I don't care.
Andrew Griffin, Manatee County, things like the pet shelter, and I'm dead against another animal building in this county. I think it's a waste of money.
Again, not my problem. That is their problem. That is the state's problem. But you can't violate my rights while you'll figure it out. As you guys know, we're friends on here, and I care deeply about every single one of you. And we always put God first here on this channel. What a busy day I have today. No different. Yesterday, some crappy slimeball attorney, Stephen Bertolino, tried to keep him out of the lawsuit because he's an attorney. He has, privileges asserted to him. So he is not above the law. In this country, you can be sued and sue. For legal strategy, typically when you get a complaint, you have 20 days to answer that complaint here in the state of Florida. If you provide an answer without the motion to dismiss, you have failed to, you can't allege a motion to dismiss later. So as typical in this type of strategy, you always file a motion to dismiss. Well, for me, I would file a motion to enlarge to buy some additional time. And then when that was ruled on, then I'd be prepared with a motion to dismiss. and then that would have to go and be ruled on before I'm required to answer. So you're kind of prolonging that process. So instead of it being 20 days, you could probably garner maybe 30 or 45 days additional timing to delay the process. They're required to give you a default letter 30 days prior to bringing a lawsuit. And this has to be, it's very specific on what needs to be in that default letter about the amount, the address, all this stuff has to be in a specific order, and it has to be contained within that letter. If something's missing from that letter, then it doesn't constitute a letter of default. A letter of default cannot be cured after the lawsuit has initiated. So it is a condition precedent. It's something that has to take place prior to anyone initiating a lawsuit. You know, this is a delay tactic. So you're looking at procedural stuff. You know, is there anything that can get this dismissed early on? Some of them are very successful. They have meat to the bone, and there have been, cases have been dismissed without prejudice. However, based upon his motion to dismiss, I doubt highly he is going to be able to dismiss himself out of this case. And with this being his second it says defendant Bertolino's motion to dismiss a second amended complaint. These things say et al. Or they say these things say et al. Or they.
Come on now. You're supposed to be a legal buff, aren't you? It's not et al. It's pronounced et al., which is short form of the Latin vocabulary for et alia.
I think this is more of a delay tactic, more so than anything else. He just doesn't want to provide an answer. He doesn't want to go through this, and he's going to have to prepare himself for trial. Nap day. I wish I get a nap day today, but today I'm going to be little, what is it, Woody, what is it, the Road Runner? That's going to be me for the day. I'm going to be the Road Runner.
Stay tuned for the update later today. See you all in just a little bit. Much love from the Exposure Arena.